Selena, what could this mean for TikTok and how are they responding?
Tom, if the U.S. went through with this, it would be a massive blow to TikTok. They've already been banned in India after the country barred 59 Chinese apps, and India is a country where it's been downloaded by 1 in 6 people. The U.S. is another massive market for TikTok, where it's been downloaded more than 165 million times. So in addition to losing potentially hundreds of millions of users, billions of dollars in advertising revenue are at stake here. Now, Trump didn't mention any specifics about a decision, saying it's just, quote, one of many ways he's looking to hit back at Beijing over the coronavirus. But it also comes just a day after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said officials were looking at barring the app over concerns that it's owned by Chinese tech giant ByteDance. Now, TikTok has pushed back against Pompeo. It's been playing up its ties to the U.S., reiterating that it's never provided data to the Chinese government, nor would they if it asked. And last month, it hired Walt Disney executive Kevin Mayer as CEO and has said it has hundreds of employees and leaders across safety, security, product, and public policy in the U.S. And in a public show of support for protecting user data from the Chinese government, TikTok said it would cease operations in Hong Kong over a national security law. So take a listen here to what David Chow, a co-founder of venture capital DCM, who's invested in Musical.ly, which was then merged with TikTok. Take a listen here to what he had to say about that decision by TikTok.
TikTok exiting Hong Kong is probably a little bit more of a PR play to make sure that they don't be viewed as a purely Chinese company, because a lot of the investors in that company are actually American-based. I think Hong Kong, after it goes over this bump, actually will flourish in terms of a market for Chinese companies to go public.
But, Tom, it's also worth considering that the exit of TikTok could actually benefit the Communist Party by removing a forum that pro-democracy protesters have used to post videos calling for an independent Hong Kong.
Selena, speaking of, and the bigger picture, this list of tech companies currently pausing or not giving in to these requests from the Hong Kong government for data, it's just getting longer. Do we know a little bit more now on what the national security law actually means for these American tech companies?
That's right, David. You have Facebook, Google, Twitter, Microsoft, and Zoom all suspending requests for user data from the Hong Kong government. And what we know is that if a publisher fails to immediately comply with a request to remove content deemed in breach of this national security law, police can seek a warrant to take any action to remove it while also demanding identification record or decryption assistance. So technology companies face a difficult dilemma. They can either bend to the laws in Hong Kong and likely infuriate Western countries, or they can simply refuse and leave the region, much like Google did in China more than a decade ago. So it's a difficult dilemma for them to face, and these companies say they are still assessing the overall impact of this law.